Good afternoon, students. Today we will understand how to solve the problems on multi-stage. For that, we need to understand the terminologies used in the multi-stage problems. Okay. For that, we will consider this diagram. Okay. So you can see there is a nozzle over there. After the nozzle, we have a moving blade. So this constitutes of first stage. Okay. Then we have a stator or fixed blade or the guide blade. So I am referring to this stator, fixed blade or guide blade. Okay. With this we have a moving blade. So these two will constitute the second stage. So this much is the first stage. Nozzle with moving blade is the first stage. Stator with the another moving blade is the second stage. Okay. Now coming to the terminologies. In the problem it will be given that outlet angle of the nozzle. Outlet angle of the nozzle. So you don't get confused that it is alpha 2. Usually students tend to do that mistake. Outlet angle means nozzle means with respect to the nozzle we have to take. So that is alpha 1 for the first stage. Alpha 1 for the first stage, you can see here. This is the first stage, which can be shown here or which can be shown here. Okay. So this is outlet angle of the nozzle. Usually with respect to guide blade or fixed blade, we show the odd numbers. 1 and 3 can see here. With respect to moving blades, we show the even numbers. So remember this thing. Okay. So coming back to the problem, alpha 1 it is the outlet angle of the nozzle. Then you can see here beta 2. So beta 2 is outlet angle of the rotor for the first stage. Outlet angle of the rotor for the first stage. So it is coming out of the first stage. So it is written beta 2 over here. Then it will be given like outlet angle of the guide blade. So this is the guide blade. We are considering its outlet. So outlet angle of the guide blade for the second stage it will be mentioned. Or if it is not mentioned, guide blade is here only. Okay, nozzle is here. So don't get confused. So that will be alpha 3. Further, it will be given that outlet angle of the moving blade for the second stage. So that is beta 4. That is beta 4. Okay. So this much details we should know to solve the problems. Usually these details will be given to solve the problems. Okay. So let us consider a particular problem and we will try to identify the given data as we have discussed in the figure. Okay. So the problem is like this. The following particulars relate to a two-stage velocity compounded impulse wheel. Okay, it is an impulse turbine. So the data is like this. Steam velocity at nozzle exit is 650 meter per second. As I told, steam at the exit of the nozzle. At the exit of the nozzle, it is steam velocity which is v1. Okay, it is 650 meter per second. So that is the inlet velocity. The high enthalpy will be converted into kinetic energy or the velocity of the steam. Further, it is given that mean blade speed is 125 meter per second. Mean blade speed is the speed with which the wheel will rotate. So that is u. That is 125 meter per second. Then mean nozzle outlet angle. So nozzle outlet angle is alpha 1. Again I am telling, don't get confused. Don't write it as alpha 2. So it is alpha 1. Nozzle outlet angle is alpha 1. Further, outlet angle of first row of moving blade. Outlet angle. So this is the first row or first stage. Its outlet angle is beta 2. Outlet angle of first row of moving blade, which is beta 2, is given as 80 degree. Then outlet angle of fixed guide blade. So outlet angle of fixed guide blade. So fixed guide blade or fixed blade is here. Its outlet angle, which is alpha 3. So alpha 3 is here, which is 22 degree. Then outlet angle of second row of moving blade. Outlet angle of second row of moving blade. So this is first row of first stage, second row of second stage. Its outlet angle is here. With respect to moving blade, outlet angle. So that is beta 4. Beta 4 is 36 degree. Also given that steam flow rate is 2.5 meter per second. Then the ratio of relative velocity at outlet to inlet is 0.84 for all the blades. Okay, so that is coefficient, which is nothing but friction. Because of friction from inlet to outlet, when the fluid is moving from inlet to outlet or the steam, there will be loss. So that loss is 84%, 0.84. Okay, so that much reduction in the velocity of the steam or the fluid will take place. That's the meaning of it. So that can be written like this. For the first stage, for the first row of moving blades, it will be VR2 by VR1. So it is 84%, 0.84. Then for this fixed blade, it will be V3 by V2. Then for the moving blade, in the second stage, it will be VR4 by VR3. So that these things we will use while solving the problem. Okay. So we have to find out axial thrust on the blades. Second parameter, power development. Then efficiency of the wheel. So it is nothing but efficiency of the turbine wheel. Okay. So in this we have to decide the scale, and deciding the scale is very important. We have to check the highest velocity. Highest velocity will be usually V1. So highest parameter will be usually V1. So that we have to take, based on that we have to fix the scale. So if I take the scale to be 1:50, okay, so we will be converting this meter per second into centimeters, so that we can draw in the graphical method, or we can do it by graphical method. So I will be taking the scale of 1:50. Okay, so if I take that, then 650 divided by 50 will give me it will be 13 centimeter. By the scale of 1:50, the V1 will be converted into 13 centimeter. Further, you can convert U also, which is 125 divided by 50. It comes out to be 2.5 centimeter. Okay, so now we have to decide the starting point of the problem. Usually there will be two types of problems in case of steam turbines, in case of multi-stage. The first type is U will be given. The second type is U, it will not be given. So this is the type where U is given. So in this we have to follow this procedure, what I will be showing it to you now. So U is given. So what we have to do in the first stage, just draw a horizontal line, taking the scale to be 2.5 centimeters. To be 2.5 centimeters. So this is the line which is representing U, and the length of the line should be 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. Okay. And one more point, what you have to remember is, in case of steam turbine, whether it is single stage or multi-stage or whatever it is, U value is fixed. U is not changing. U is not changing. Okay. So once I draw the line, usually it is usually we suggest the students to draw a rough sketch of this velocity triangle, then start with the problem. So I will be drawing a rough sketch on one side of the board, so that it is very useful. This represents the one half V1, VR1, VF1, and the angles alpha 1, beta 1. Okay, this portion is U. So on this side we have the outlet VR1, VR2, V2. This is the perpendicular line, which is VF2. So the angles here we have alpha 2, here we have beta 2. So usually we have to draw a rough sketch so that it becomes useful while following the graphical method. So if we observe carefully over here, this is our point of reference, this point and this point, where we have U. So this is one point of view, this is another point of view. From this point, if you see carefully, V1 is going towards right side, V2 is going towards left side, and the angles alpha 1 and alpha 2. From this point, see, VR1 is going towards left side, and VR2 is going towards my left side and my right side. So VR1 is towards my right side, VR2 is towards my left side. So and the angles, VR1 will make an angle beta 1, VR2 will make an angle beta 2. Okay. And the main point what we have to observe here is, this is the point where V1 and VR1 they are intersecting. From this point we have to drop a perpendicular. So that represents VF1. Similarly here, this point, if you see carefully, this is V2, this is VR2. So they are intersecting at a particular point and they have to draw a perpendicular. So that represents VF2. This completes the velocity triangle. Okay. Now coming back to the problem, what we have to do? We have to draw a line, horizontal line, which represents U is equal to 2.5 cm, which is given. Okay. Then we have to draw a line. We have to draw. Okay. I need slightly more line. So this is U, which is representing 2.5 cm. So from this point, V1 is moving towards the positive side, positive x-axis. I can say that positive x-axis, and the angle also given. It is making an angle alpha 1, which is 16 degree, and it is 13 centimeters. So from this point, I will be drawing V1. Or what you can do is first mark the angle. Take from your compass, you can cut a length of 13.5 centimeters. Then you can join. Okay? Then you can join. Sorry, first take the compass length for 13 centimeters, cut it. Then you draw this angle, which is 16 degree, which is alpha 1. First you have to cut the compass length, then you have to draw the angle 16 degree line, then you will get that intersection point. And we know that this is the point. So this is the point where V1 and VR1 both are intersecting. Correct? V1 and VR1 both are intersecting. From that point, from this point I can draw this line. Correct? No? So this is the V1 part. This is the VR1 part. This is very important. Okay? So from this point we have the given details. So we have drawn, we have used the compass and we are cutting the length of 13 centimeter, and using the given angle, which is 16 degree, we are drawing the line. So we will get the intersection point. So this is the intersection point, which you can see here. So from that point you can join to the other point of U. Okay, so here we have joined here. So we will get this part. So next is what? Just from the intersection point, draw a perpendicular and join this one. So this is our VF1, and this angle you have to measure. This angle you have to measure. Okay. So if you measure, you get to know the angle. This is actually beta 1. So you can measure and find out what is the angle. Okay. So again, you can measure this length. So already we have done it. The length comes out to be, VR1 length comes out to be 10.5 centimeters. 10.5 centimeters. If I convert that in the meter per second, it is 525 meters per second. Okay. So then I will be using this formula. Once I know the value of VR1, I will be using CV, which is VR2 by VR1. I know the value of CV. I know the value of VR1 from the velocity triangle. I will get to know the value of VR2. So that is already calculated. VR2, it is 8.9 centimeters. So, or it is 445 meters per second. Okay. I hope you understood how we have done this. I can demonstrate. So that is CV is VR2 by VR1. I know the value of CV is 0.84. So I don't know the value of VR2, but I know the value of VR1. I can substitute this or this. If I substitute VR1 in centimeters, I will get the answer in centimeters. So I can do whichever is easy. So I will substitute this, then I will get the value of VR2, which comes out to be 8.9 centimeters. So this you can also solve and confirm the answer. Okay, this is how we get the first inlet part of the velocity triangle. In order to get the outlet part of the velocity triangle, I have to check what is the data available with me. So I am referring to this part. Okay, here I know the value of VR2. So this is VR2. I know this length. The length is 8.9 centimeter. So do I know any other parameter? Yes, we know parameter. beta 2. Okay, so from this point we know that from this point beta 1 and VR1 going towards this side, beta 2 and VR2 going towards this side. So first what I do, I'll fix the compass to length of 8.9 cm, then I'll cut the line, then I'll draw the angle, which is 80 degree towards this side. Okay, so this is representing 18 degree and this angle is representing beta 2. Okay, and one more point, I am not drawing to the scale, so you please provide to the scale according to the parameters given in the problem. Okay, so this is the VR2, then again this is the point, we got this point. So what we did, we have drawn this VR2 line. So I know that from this point, if I join to the other side of U, this is one side of U, this is the other side of U. So if I join this, so this is nothing but V2. Okay, so this is V2. Then I have to drop a perpendicular again from the same point. If I drop a perpendicular, I will get VF2. So if I measure the angle, I will get the angle also, which is alpha 2. Okay, so these details will get to know. So this completes the first row of the velocity triangle. Then in the second row, what we have to do? We have this length U. As I told you, it is not changing; it will be same. So just extend this U, then draw this U once again. Now again, I have to start from the second stage towards right side. Right side means it will be inlet. So like this only I have to start. Right side means that will be inlet. So again I will be drawing this side, which is representing inlet. Okay. So with respect to the second stage, inlet, what all parameters I know? So I can measure this and write down the data V2. So already it is measured. It is around 6.6 centimeters. Okay. In meter per second, it is 330. Okay. So we know this V2. Okay. And again, using this relation, which is Cv is equal to V3 by V2, I can find out the value of V3. So again, we have found the value of V3, which is around 5.6 centimeters. Okay, so in meter per second, it is around 280 meters per second. Okay, so I know the value of V3. Okay, so I know that V3 is towards this side. Okay, if I know the angle alpha 3, then I can draw the line. Okay, yes, alpha 3 is also given. So I know the value of V3 and alpha 3. So first, what I do, I will take this one, I will mark a point. From this point, I will take the compass length of 5.6 centimeter. I will cut the line. Then I will draw the angle of 22 degree from this point. Okay, so this is 22 degree, which is representing alpha 3. So this is the point. Again, you can take this for odd number. Okay, I got this point. I have drawn this line. This line is drawn. Again, from this point, if I join towards the other side of the line U, I will get this VR1 here. Here I will get VR2. Okay, so here I will get, if I join this line, this is the intersection point. Once I get this intersection point, just have to join the other point of U. So I will get this VR3. Okay, if I drop the perpendicular, I will get VF3. Okay, write it this side. So this is VR3, this is VF3. Okay, so the angle is beta 3. Okay, so from this I can measure VR3 or whichever data I need. So VR3, we have measured it, it is around 3.3 centimeters. Okay, in meter per second it is 165 meter per second. Okay, so again I have to check to draw the second outlet of the second stage, which data I need. So I know VR3. From VR3 I can obtain VR4. using the relation. So VR4 already we have calculated. So VR4 is 2.7 centimeters. Okay, in meter per second it is 135. 135 meter per second. Okay, so I know the VR4 length, and with respect to angle, I know beta 4. So VR4 and beta 4. So it is like this line. So if I know here, if I replace 2 by 4, I can do it. Here 1 can be replaced by 3. Okay, so this is VR4 will move like this with an angle beta 2. So with an angle beta 4. So 2 can be replaced by 4. Okay, so from this point, VR4 is moving towards this side, and it is making an angle beta 4. Okay, so first what I have to do, I have to fix the length to 2.7 centimeter in the compass, cut the line, and the angle is 36 degree. So, oh sorry, I have to take this point, not the other one, this one, sorry. VR3 is there, the other side will be VR4. So VR4, I will draw the length of 2.7 centimeters, then I will draw the angle, which is 36 degrees. Which is 36 degrees. So this is the VR4 line. Then if once I get the intersection point, what I have to do? Just simply draw this to this reference point. So we will get V4. Okay. Then what we have to do? Drop the perpendicular. Okay. We will get this VF4. So if I measure the angle, I will get alpha 4. Okay. This completes the first stage and the second stage. And we can measure the parameters which are required to calculate the given things. Okay. In this problem, it was asked to calculate. Axial thrust. Okay. In order to calculate axial thrust, we need VF1, VF2, VF3, VF4. So that we can measure and calculate. So I will write the formula. To calculate axial thrust, which is FA. The formula is m dot. It is delta VF for the first stage and delta VF for the second stage. So what is this delta VF? Delta VF for the first stage is VF1. I'll write it as difference VF2. Okay. So if I take the difference VF1 minus VF2, I'll get delta VF for the first stage. Similarly, delta VF for the second stage, which is VF3 difference VF4. Okay. So whichever is greater, we have to take the positive value if I write the difference. So VF1 minus VF2. So I have to just write the values. So we have calculated the VF1 and VF2 values. Okay, VF1 is 185. It is in meter per second. VF2 is 160. Okay, then we have VF3 100 and VF4 75. So if I substitute, I will get the answer to be 125 Newton. Okay, this is the first parameter. So then second parameter, power development. Okay, so power development, we can write it here. So power development, as we know, it is U delta VU for the first stage. Okay, then delta VU for the second stage. So again, delta VU for the first stage is V1. Okay, sorry, we have to multiply m dot also. Okay, so delta VU for the first stage is this is the length delta VU for the first stage. VU1 plus VU2. Usually, if the VU2 value is negative, that also we have to consider. In this problem, VU2 is also plus. Okay. Then VU2, VU for the second stage, again is VU3 plus or minus VU4. In this problem, all the values are positive only. Okay. For this, it is total length is around 910. Then this is 235 VU2. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. So this is delta VU for the second stage. So just we have to measure this length, or we can check this also, VU3 plus or minus VU4. So already we have measured and we have calculated the answer, which is around 357.8 kilowatts. Okay. Then we have to find out the efficiency of the wheel. Efficiency of the wheel. So as we know, efficiency means it is output by input. Output by input. So if I calculate using that formula, our output is the work done. Our output is the work done. Input is the kinetic energy which was supplied. Okay. So yes, we are taking both per kg only. So work done. So if I here I have taken the m dot. If I take out the m dot, efficiency of the wheel is work done by the input energy supplied, which is kinetic energy. So work done already we know it can be written as P by m dot also. Okay, because we know P is equal to m dot into 1. So which is the formula of what we have used here. Okay, so then V1 square by 2 is the kinetic energy. Both we are taking per kg. Both we are taking per kg only. So after substituting, it comes around 67.7% or approximately 68%. Okay. So power we know. Consider this kilowatt also into 10 power 3. Then substitute all the values. We'll get the answer to be around 68%. Okay. Thank you. In the next class, we will understand how to solve the problems when the value of u is not given. So this is the case when the value of u is given. Okay. Thank you.